She had chosen the quietest corner of the cafe that day, tucked beneath a skylight where golden afternoon light gently spilled across her table. A book rested in her hands, half forgotten. A lukewarm latte beside her, the foam slowly dissolving. The world outside moved on, but here, time felt suspended. Then, something shifted. 4 tables away, she noticed him. At first, it didn't register, just another stranger in a sea of faces. But something tugged at her memory. The posture, the quiet confidence, the curve of his brow. She blinked, looked again, and everything slowed. It was him, the boy from high school, the loud, charismatic one, the class representative who somehow got punished more than praised, the karate champion who wore confidence like a second skin. Of all places, of all people, it was him. Funny how the past sneaks into the quiet places of the present. Just a few days earlier, she had opened a dusty old box. Letters to her future self, birthday cards, photographs, movie tickets, trinkets, a time capsule of who she used to be, and among them, a photo. He was there, in the background, laughing, and now, here he was again. His hair was shorter now, neater, but his eyes still held that spark. She lowered her gaze, her heart stirred. She hadn't seen him in years. What were the odds? This cafe wasn't near their old school. It wasn't even in the same city. Maybe fate was just mischievous like that. She considered saying nothing, letting the moment pass. But fate wasn't known for being patient. He stood, packed his things, slung a bag over his shoulder, and walked towards her. Her finger tensed around her coffee cup, and then he was in front of her. The conversation flowed easily. Too easily, maybe. Like someone had just pressed pause years ago and now unpaused. They talked about life, work, memories. She laughed more than she expected. He listened more deeply than she remembered. He had changed. The boyish arrogance had softened into quiet ambition, a gentleness, maturity, and she had found her voice. Back then, she was the quiet girl, always buried in her books. Now, she stood in rooms and spoke with purpose, and he noticed. He saw her, not just the girl she was, but the woman she had become. Their steps eventually led outside, a walk beneath soft street lights, breathing in city air and something more delicate, hope. They talked of old classmates, of crushes, of how fast life moves when you aren't paying attention. The sky was painted in fading hues. Their hands brushed once, and then again, and neither said a word. He asked if she still wrote poems. She laughed, genuinely surprised that he remembered. Even the ones she had scribbled in class about clocks and silence. That memory stayed with him, and something in her chest fluttered. They found a bench in the park, under a sleepy tree. Words slowed. They weren't feeling silence anymore. They were sitting in it, together. And for the first time in a long time, she felt seen. He shared his fears, the exhaustion of chasing success, the weight of expectations, and she spoke of quiet heartbreaks, of rebuilding herself, of finding joy in solitude. And he listened. The night wrapped around them like a blanket. Later, walking by a bookstore, she turned to him and said she used to have a crush on him back then. He stopped, looked at her, and said he always thought she was out of reach. They smiled, and for a moment, time folded inward, sweet, soft, and just a little bittersweet. Maybe they were meant to meet again, not to relive something, but to begin something new. In the weeks that followed, they met again, and again, by choice. He brought her coffee. She remembered his favorite authors. Their texts stretched into midnight. Photos, songs, inside jokes reborn. It was quiet, unrushed, kind. There were no grand declarations, no dramatic gestures, just consistency. He showed up, she stayed. He held her hands when she didn't know what to say. She stayed on the phone when he forgot how to speak. They were learning each other's silences. One evening, they returned to that same bench, the same old tree. He turned to her, his eyes steady, and in her heart, she already knew what he would say. Because she felt it too. Something don't return by accident. They return because they never really left. This wasn't a high school crush reawaken. This wasn't a missed opportunity undone. This was two people meeting again, with histories in their pockets and patience in their hearts. No longer trying to be perfect, just honest. No longer rushing, just present. And as they sat in that familiar place, beneath that same old tree, she smiled. If it's meant to be, it shall be. And this time, it just might be.